Hello, and as always, thank you for being with me again. Today I wanted to talk about the two miracles referred to in Matthew's Gospel when Jesus talks, or two parables, when Jesus talks about the man who found a treasure in the field, went and sold all he had to buy that field, and the merchant who found a pearl of great value and went and sold all he had to buy that pearl. And they were both then filled with great joy. And what's interesting about this is that it refers obviously not to treasure in the physical sense or a pearl in our case, but what it refers to is finding that thing that brings that great joy into your life. And there's also when Jesus said that it's in losing yourself that you will find yourself. And so we come to that great joy by letting go of some of our self-protection and our fears that we have in facing others and in dealing with others. And we see that what actually we need to get to is to become one of those people that you would turn to in a moment of difficulty, a moment when you really needed somebody, a person that you could go to who truly would care about what's happening to you, who would be truly interested, and who would actually be there for you in good times and in bad times. Whether they thought what you'd done was right or whether they thought what you'd done was wrong, they would be there for you. And this is what we are called to do, to be there for people, that is, to love them irrespective of what happens in their lives. And this is what will bring the great joy into your life if you're able to do that. Sometimes we can say, well, this is not necessarily the easiest thing to achieve, but as we grow spiritually, we'll find that it becomes easier and easier to be there for people. You see, what's lacking very often in our lives when we're unable to be there for people is know in ourselves that we are loved. We don't have that sense of love in our lives, and until we do know that we are loved unconditionally and deeply, we won't be able to provide that to the people around us. And so it's in growing our relationship with God and in learning to deal with all the things that come up in life that we actually can arrive at this pearl of great price, this being spiritually in the right place, able to be there for others, able to really serve them in the most positive way, and to be one of those people, as I say, that you would turn to if you really needed someone in your life. I found a very practical help also. As I say, obviously prayer is the first way of growing towards God, but of dealing with life that I've found very useful. There's a man called, a book called The Four Agreements by a man called Don Miguel Ruiz. And it's actually very interesting. He has 4 things that he uses in dealing with everyone. The first of these 4 is that he says, be impeccable with your word. And this is absolutely essential. Be careful not to just say what you think the other person wants to hear, but speak your truth to them with love, but your truth anyway. That's very important. The second of his 4 agreements is not to take anything personally. That is, not to decide that people are attacking you. When people come at you, even if they come with a great deal of rage or they come very upset and whatever, it's really never about you. It's about something going on in them. You may just be the person that they happen to have that they can take this out on at the time. And so don't take things personally when they come your way. Look past what may seem like a personal hurt towards you and love the person anyway, despite what they may or may not say or do towards you. The third of these 4 agreements is to not make assumptions. So not to decide that you already know why the other person is doing what they're doing, not to assume that they're doing it because of, and then putting in whatever you think the reason is, and so on. Unless you really know, realize that you actually don't know. You don't know why the person is behaving like that. You don't know what's brought that particular thing they're doing on, and so on. And in acknowledging that fact that you really don't know, you're able to deal with them much better and give them a chance to let you understand why exactly they're doing what they are. And the fourth is to always do your best. This is something that I've worked on for years and years, to always do your best, because much of our lives can be spent feeling bad about things that we think we could have done better, that we think we could have done differently. But you know, we all will make mistakes. We all have to grow. And provided what you did at the time was the best you could do at that time and in those circumstances, that was the best you could do. And so there's no need to beat yourself up because you couldn't have done better where you were at that time. And so you can be at peace that even if in hindsight you can look back and say, well, maybe some of the things I did weren't the best, at the time they were the best. And this will change obviously as you grow. And so these 4 things to remember: be impeccable with your word, always do your best, don't take anything personally, and do not make assumptions, are 4 things that can help you in dealing with others, that can go alongside your spiritual growth to make you a person that can really bring others peace and happiness in their lives, and therefore great joy in your life. And may God bless you. Thank you.